For my capstone project, the problem that is addressed is a lack of motivation in the classroom, specifically with gathering and organizing information for research. To help alleviate the problem, the students will be using more interactive technologies in the classroom. My target audience is a 5th grade class with 9 boys and 7 girls. I'm going to implement BrainPop and Noodle tools into their everyday social studies lesson to help keep them motivated with active technology. There are a couple connections between my literary review and my capstone project. The first connection that comes to mind that helped me choose BrainPop and Noodle tools is the idea that Kenny and Gunter talk about, noting that the first step to connecting and introducing video games or technology in the classroom is making sure that the educator understands the program themselves. With that research, I chose BrainPop and Noodle tools as my implementation technology because of my comfort and understanding of both the programs. Another connection to my literary review and my capstone project is the method of goal-oriented motivation. Having the students complete simple tasks gives them motivation to continue. I did this through giving them simple tasks to learn the navigation for both BrainPop and Noodle tools. After I started my capstone project, I realized that there was another connection between my literary review and the project itself. Hazari, North, and Moreland mentioned that by using peer reviews and peer blog posts, students form student-to-student relationships, which result in an increase of interest in the topic and improvement in motivation. I found this with the use of Noodle tools. Noodle tools helped build peer involvement in the classroom by allowing the students to view each other's work and comment on different ideas or changes that they could make. The first step was my Cycle 1 implementation, my capstone project. The implementation started by watching a Prezi that introduced them to BrainPop. The students were then allowed to play around and navigate on their own. When they became familiar with the site, they were instructed to find the correct Greek god video and then take quizzes or play games related to that video in preparation for their social studies unit. The students used library research along with their information found on BrainPop to help them build an understanding of which Greek god they were going to study. For my Cycle 2 implementation, the students were introduced to Noodle tools. They watched a simple tutorial screen flow on the navigation that they'll need to know using this program. They used both in-class time and homework time to play around with the uses and navigation options that Noodle Tool offers before entering their information found in both BrainPop and library research. The students used BrainPop to watch introductory videos on Greek gods, and with Noodle tools, they worked on entering their information gathered from BrainPop and library research to organize and outline for a final paper. One of my favorite documentations from this implementation were my post-student interviews. I interviewed about 8 students, and I just asked them their likes and dislikes about BrainPop and Noodle tools and whether or not they would use them again in the future. My favorite thing about these interviews was to really see how the students felt, because they were pretty frank and truthful for their likes and dislikes about the programs. And what I was proud of was that most of them said that almost all that I interviewed, said that they would use these programs in the future. And oddly enough, I thought BrainPop would be the more popular of the two, but from hearing what these students said, it came across that Noodle tools was more practical for them to use in the future than BrainPop, which I found interesting, but also good to know for future implementation. What were your likes and dislikes about Noodle tools?
I like that you can categorize your notes on it, but I wish the outline box, that's a little outline thing here, I wish it could be a little more bigger there.
And so what were your likes and dislikes with Noodle tools?
I like how organized Noodle Tools is and how
That's okay. You don't have to dislike it. Likes about noodle tools.
Well, my likes were that they kept all of your things that you needed organized. So when you wanted to go to a certain file of whatever part of your essay or your research, you could go to that. And I didn't really have any dislikes. I kind of liked it.
Matt, what are your likes and dislikes about Brain Pop?
My likes were that all of the videos made it fun to learn about all of the topic. My dislikes were that some of the information was kind of like,
Thank you.
Tell her she misses out because we didn't say.
not really important.
And I'll make her he knows.
Two of the projects that we did during this course were 1, create a game in GameStar Mechanic, and 2, create a music video that related to our implementation. I love using the video games that I created as an energizer in the classroom to break up the day, and I love that I can create my own music video as an introduction to a new topic in the course. I'd say that this capstone project has prepared me immensely for future presentations or future implementations in the classroom. It not only taught me, a great system on how to do it. ADDIE model has been kind of my Bible for, class planning now. And what I like about it is that things do need to change, and for the better. It's a great way to adapt what you're doing and make sure that you're getting the best out of what you want to do. I think that is the most important thing that I've learned from not only these months, but from this whole process is making sure that you're not afraid of changes and to make adaptations to things when it needs to be done. You can set a plan, it's not necessarily set in stone. You can always work around it, and especially with students when they're all so individual and different, you need to be able to have that flexibility. Since my implementation, the students have actually started using iTouches in the classroom with certain subjects and traditional use of the computer as well.